It's your man Jay Graves, and welcome to the Jay Graves Report College Football Weekly Preview, Week 14. Y'all know how we get it in, so let's get it in. It's the last weekend of college football before all the bowls start in December. Now, this is Conference Championship weekend. Everybody's playing for the Conference Championship, bruh. Everybody is playing a Conference Championship game, but the Big 12. Big 12 doesn't have enough teams to have a Conference Championship game, so now they just playing it out. You got OU going to TCU this weekend in Fort Worth, and you got Texas and Kansas State. If Kansas State wins, then they win the Big 12. If Kansas State loses and OU wins the Big 12. I wish you could just play it out on the field, bruh. We got to get another couple teams so we can get it in, like we've been getting it in for the last few years. Now, let's move on to the Pac-12. Pac-12 has number 16 UCLA playing number 8 Stanford. Now, let's keep it real or all the way 100, whichever comes first. At the beginning of the season, everybody thought USC was going to be playing the Parliament Funkadelic in the Oregon Ducks. Both teams fell asleep at the wheel. USC fell asleep at the wheel more than 3 or 4 times, and then the Parliament Funkadelic fell asleep at the wheel at the crib against Stanford a few weeks ago. So now, this ball game is basically a repeat of last weekend. UCLA playing at the crib, got the doors blown off of them against Stanford 35-17. Now, this week, they got to go to Stanford. Now, do we really think it's going to be a change, the venue changes, it's going to change the score? I doubt it, bruh. Because if you can't win at the crib, you get blown out at the crib, you definitely going to get blown out on the road playing against the same team. So let's move on to the next ball game. We just go to the ACC. Hey, and the reason I call it the ACC is because both Florida State and Georgia Tech, the two teams that are playing for the ACC championship, got the brakes beat off of them last weekend by the SEC. Florida State had Florida on the ropes to the fourth quarter, gave up 24 points in the fourth quarter. Then you had Georgia Tech didn't even show up. But first of all, they showed up with what they could show up with. They 6-6. They went down and got the brakes beat off of them against Georgia, 42-10. How in the world do you play for a conference championship at 6-6? ACC. So now I'm gonna go ahead and go with Florida State in this ball game because Florida State has played well all season, except for 2 ball games they fell asleep at the wheel. They fell asleep at the wheel in the fourth quarter against Florida, had them on the ropes, should have won that ball game. So they're gonna redeem themselves, beat the brakes off Georgia Tech, go to the crib. Now let's go on to the Big Ten. I'm gonna say the same thing. The Big Ten Conference Championship is going to be dub 2 because you got 10-2, number 12, Nebraska, who've been handling their business all year, playing Wisconsin, who is 7-5. Now, how did Wisconsin get in the doggone conference championship is because they're on the same side of the fence with Ohio State, can't go to a bowl game, and Penn State can't go to a bowl game. So these boys backed into the joint by default and going to get the brakes beat off of them in Indianapolis this weekend. So let's move on to the next ball game, the one that really counts, the SEC Championship. The reason I say this is the one that counts because the winner of this ball game goes on to the National Championship to play Notre Dame in Miami, South Beach. Do what you do. It is what it is. Let's get it in. Now, you got number 2 Alabama playing number 3 Georgia. Now, both teams got crazy defense. In my opinion, Georgia's got more talent on defense than Alabama. They got more NFL-ready players on defense than Alabama. They got more talent, in my opinion, than Alabama. But the only difference in this ball game is Georgia is Mark Richt's Georgia. This is the ball game that we've been waiting on all year for Georgia to show up and look like Mark Richt's Georgia. They gonna get beat in this ball game simply because they Mark Richt's Georgia. They always show up in big ball games and lay an egg. Alabama will be playing Notre Dame for the national championship in January. So let's keep it real or all the way 100, whichever comes first. Holla at your man. It's your man Jay Graves from the JayGravesReport.com, or you can hit me up on Twitter at JayGravesReport and holla at your boy.